Hi there, my name is Diane, but you can just call me D. In today's video, we're gonna be rewatching and I guess reacting to my 5-star predictions of 2021. So that's gonna be interesting because I don't think I finished them all. I don't remember all of them, but we'll see. Let's go. Okay, so we're gonna do a screen grab and I will pop those babies in and let's listen. Hi there, my name is Diane, but you can just call me D. I'm super excited to come back. I'm wearing the same video of my 5-star predictions for this year. The books I'm gonna mention are, I believe, all 2021 releases that I'm really looking forward to reading. Let's start. Alright, so the first book is Son of the Storm by Sue Davis Okungboya. Hopefully I'm saying that right. It's supposed to be released by the 11th of May 2021. First of all, this cover looks amazing. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's almost all I need to know about this book. It actually also sounds really good. It's a fantasy that is set in a world inspired by pre-colonial empires of West Africa. I kind of like that we start to hear more about the books that are not necessarily inspired or set in the Western world. I did start reading that book. I don't know. I just was in a moment where fantasy, I was really breaking up with fantasy for a bit, and specifically with big books, like big fantasy books. It's been recently that I've had a hard time focusing on a book that is more than 350 pages. So fantasy books are usually way more than this, especially if they are in a series. I had started it. I did appreciate it for what it was at that time. I don't think I was fully enthralled by the storyline, and so I decided to just put it aside, do a soft DNF, but nowadays I'm just not seeing myself continuing this book, just because I think if I were to go into fantasy, I think I would try something that is already on my shelf. I still am not sure, to be frank. Like recently I've been feeling like, I want to get back into a fantasy world, but I just don't know where to start, and I don't think this book was it for me. I just didn't grab my attention very well. Unfortunately, I didn't finish this book, and I will probably most likely not pick it up in the future. I think I'm gonna tally by read, DNF'd, unread. So that's one for the unread. Next, we have In Deeper Waters by F.T. Lukens. It came out on April 20th, 2021. This sounds like a really fun young adult fantasy. It's pitched as The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue meets Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know that first book, but obviously I know about the movies. It sounds like a lot of fun and something that's cute. Yeah, I don't need to hear what this is about, but so my dilemma is that I would be interested because I did hear some good reviews about this book. So obviously I did not read it, but I think it sounds fun, and I might be convinced by myself to pick it up at some point later on, but I just don't have it on my shelf right now. I don't have a plan on buying it right now, but I think it's one that I'm gonna keep in mind if I want a YA fantasy that is a bit on the lighter side. I've been really enjoying The Witch King, and I'm excited for the second book in that series. So I would say, like, in terms of the feeling, I'm imagining that In Deeper Waters is the same type of energy, of atmosphere. So if I ever want something like this, I think I would pick it up. But at this time, I don't have any plans to pick that up anytime soon. So it did change. That's one for the unread. Aww. Next we have Lost in the Neverwoods by Aidan Thomas. It was out on the 23rd of March. I'm extremely excited about this book. I believe it's a retelling of Peter Pan. Okay, so I have read this book and I really enjoyed it. I definitely don't think it's for everyone. It's a very slow moving book. It really has... It has a plot. It has to me, it has a strong underlying plot, but it's really slow. And that's kind of how Aidan Thomas writes, from my experience with their books so far. And I just love their writing. So it doesn't even matter to me that it was slow. It just, I really like how they write, and I truly felt lost in that book. No pun intended, but I mean that I fell in love with it, with the story, with just reading it, you know, just thinking about it outside of my reading time, you know, just, I don't know, I just enjoyed the world. I just enjoyed how it was written, what was the story. So read that one and loved it. The next book that we have is an epic LGBTQ romance fantasy. This is actually the second book in the Midnight Lie series. It's called The Hollow Heart by Mary Rutkowski. It comes out on September 14th. I've read this one as well, which means that I completed my the duology. And I enjoyed it. I think the first book was definitely way stronger. I think the storyline was more interesting. I think the banter between characters was there. Whereas in The Hollow Heart, the two main characters are separated for a long period of time. I actually don't even remember the ending of this book now that I'm thinking about it. Wait, this happens... Yeah. Maybe like the end... Oh, yeah. I remember that, yeah. I think the pacing was just not good to me. It was a short book, but it felt so long. I was bored quite a lot because the main characters were separated. I think that's why. Because what the writing, you know, was fine. I usually enjoy her writing, and also the plot was interesting. It's just that why did it take so long for all those events to happen? Like, I felt like there was too much writing, if that makes sense. It wasn't the best wrap-up of a series or a duology, especially because I thought that the first book was just so strong, and I felt like what I enjoyed in the first book was mostly missing in the second book. So, but that's another one for the red one. Then we have The Witch King by H.E. Edmond. It's supposed to come out on June 1st. As I had kind of spoiled it before, I did read The Witch King and I really enjoyed it. It was really fun to read. I mean, it did tackle some important issues that really made me feel for the characters and made the characters come alive. So I really enjoyed it. I think it was fun. It was light with some important topics. So I would definitely recommend it. And I have the second book, which I'm excited to start whenever I'll be in the mood for a light fantasy young adult. Then we have The Bronzed Beasts by Roshani Chokshi. I've read this book. This is the last book in the Gilded Wolves trilogy. Okay, so I really liked the two first books. I think you know, they were both 5 stars or something like that. And the Bronzed Beasts was good. I enjoyed getting back into the characters. I think at the beginning it was a bit slow because they were not... I don't know if I can say anything. It was a bit slow. That's all you need to know. And I guess maybe that's kind of the same issue that I had with The Hollow Heart, is that the pacing felt a bit off. Like, the whole book was slow and then the ending was rushed. And I also didn't really enjoy the ending just because I was hoping for a different way that the story would have ended. It's not like I disliked where the plot went. It's more so that I think maybe the way it was written, I was expecting it to be a bit different. So yeah, it just left me feeling meh about the ending to that series, which is a bit disappointing, to be honest, when you've enjoyed really 2 out of the 3 books and it's the ending that is a bit of a letdown for you rather than the beginning or the middle. So yeah, I don't know. But this one is read as well. Also want to read the next book of Riley Sager. It's called Survive the Night. It comes out July 6th. I'm not necessarily super intrigued about this plot. So why did you pick it up? Survive the Night, I've read it. And I didn't dislike it as much as people were disliking it at the time, just because I heard the reviews. I got a good idea of what was not great about that book, so I went into it with low expectations. And yeah, I agree with most of the reviews. I don't dislike the epilogue as much as what a lot of people have felt. But I did dislike a lot. I did dislike the twists. Like, I don't know. I thought I liked Riley Sager's twists because for the first 2 books that I had read from him, Lock Every Door and Home Before Dark, I enjoyed those storylines. I enjoyed the twists. But for this book and his new book from 2022, no, like the twists are out there, and for me they are just don't make sense. I don't know. Maybe the other ones also didn't make sense, but I just enjoyed the story. I don't know what's going on with Riley Sager, but I don't think he's the author for me. I think I've come to the conclusion that maybe the 2 first books were just the vibe for me, and from then on, I think, it could be that because there's also because he becomes more popular, he's feeling more pressure to write, and maybe the plots are a bit different, or a bit, they have that shock value that you need. But yeah, the vibe for this one was not for me at all. And more than that, I really dislike his portraying of female characters. Specifically in that one, I would say that it's infuriating how dumb the decisions that the main character makes are. Yeah, I just feel like we're smarter than that, so that's that. So then we have Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune, and I don't really know much about this book. Yes, so I have this book on my shelf. I did get it for Christmas. However, I haven't started reading it because of the topics that I've heard that it's handling. It's talking about death, and I'm just not in a mental state where I can handle that kind of topic right now. So I'm still really excited to read it. I just want to make sure that it's when I feel that I can handle it. So this one is for the unread. Then we have the Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. So it was first published on March 23rd. I believe this is adult fantasy with a lesbian protagonist. I forgot about that one. Whoops. So clearly I don't have any more interest to to read this book. I think it's because it's a fantasy book and I haven't really been in the mood for fantasies, or at least now that I'm getting that feeling again, it's a very specific type of fantasy that I'm looking into reading, and I don't believe this is it. I'm not planning on picking it up soon, but you know, I don't actually, have I heard good reviews about it? I don't remember, but we'll see, maybe later. I didn't know. And read. The last book I want to talk about is No Gods, No Monsters by Cadwell Turnbull. It's supposed to come out September 7th. Okay, so I was really interested about this book, but I think it's the same thing as the Gigi Clune one. It's a book that I would like to read at some point, but just not right now, not this year. I don't think it's anytime soon anyway, so, and read. Some other books I'm just gonna quickly mention. Malice by Heather Walter. Nah. So I did start this book and I DNF'd it. I think page 10 or like the first chapter. Just the writing style, that was not for me. It was very much Disney-like in the writing style, in the age category. It was quite young, or it felt quite young at the time, and I don't know. I just really did not like the writing, so DNF. Blade of Secrets by Tricia Levenseller. Oh my god, I'm just posing on terrible pictures. Okay, so this one I have read, right? That's the one I've read. Yeah. I think the main character has anxiety, so the portrayal of anxiety was interesting in that one, but I really didn't like it. It was badly written. It's just not for me, you know. I have read quite a lot of books and I have define what is good writing in my opinion, what I like to read in terms of writing, and this is just, it was easy to read, it was super fast to read, but it just didn't make me feel anything. Like I didn't care for the characters, I didn't feel like there was any stakes. I don't know, it's just not for me. Like I can understand that there is an audience for that book. It was just not me. So read, but will not continue with the series. And finally, there's Hold Back the Tide by Melinda Salisbury. Is this the one about a girl living with a serial killer? And this is the story of someone who is living with a murderer. Yes. Okay, so this one is not on my TBR at this time. I have not read it. Do I have plans on reading it? I haven't really heard much about it. Have you read it? Let me know down below if you think it's a good book and I should try it out based on what you think my tastes or like. I'd be interested in maybe revisiting it later on. I don't know. It's at the back of my mind, I guess. You know, it's not something that is in my plans anytime soon, but I think the synopsis was interesting enough to put it on as an honorary mention, so we'll see. Maybe later on, but for now, unread. Alright, so it looks like I had 10 books on my 5-star predictions, and then I think it was about 3 books as honorary mentions. Interesting. Alright, so out of the 13 books, I believe I read 6 books. I DNF'd 2 books and I did not read 5 books. I haven't read more than half, but I've read almost half, and out of the ones I haven't read, there's really only one that's left that's I'm still interested in reading somewhat soon. So, and the rest I'm probably not interested to continue looking into it right now, and I don't think I would consider them 5 stars 5-star predictions at this time, you know, with my moods and my tastes changing and all that. So that's not too bad. I would say that's pretty good actually, and I've DNF'd too. So if you add the read and DNF, I did read more than half, and I'm also counting the honorary mentions. So yeah, I think I did pretty well, and the ones that, you know, I thought were going to be 5 stars, a few of them were, a few of them weren't, or at least a few of them were hits and some were not. But I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Let me know if you want me to do another 5-star predictions. So let me know in the comments if you've read any of those books I've mentioned, if they were 5 stars for you, or if you had other 5-star predictions as well. And if you made a 5-star prediction video, make sure to let me know down below so I can go and check it out, because I really enjoy watching those videos. But that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.